VimBIz, complex workflows made simple. Coming to you live from NAB in Las Vegas, Tom Levesque presents From Planning to Scheduling to Actuals.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm Tom Levesque, VP of Sales at VimSoft. Thank you for joining me today for this quick presentation about us, what we do, right? Welcome to our booth. Welcome to people online watching us. And welcome if you want to hear what we are doing every day. That's essentially what I want to present today. So we've been in business for well over 20 years. And this industry is what we do. The media and broadcast industry is what we focus on every day. We work with our customers to finding solution, and ultimately our end goal is to help them improve the efficiency of their operation. One could say that our story began back in the 90s when one of our founders actually developed his own system to help manage a regional operation of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Then in the early 2000s, our president and CEO, Mitch Manuel, hey Mitch, how you doing? Actually architected a revolutionary method of building software solutions. It helps our team remain very lean in terms of quantity of developers that we have, but develop solutions much faster that way. Then a little bit of history on who we work with. The first few years of our career was mainly engineering operations. Our first customer was Harpo, then the CBC as well. Both customers benefited from using VimBIz to improve their engineering operation. Then many other broadcasters followed suit afterwards. The next 5 years actually marked our first entry in the European market, where the SVT in Sweden selected VimBIz through a public tender for its scheduling and time card solution. It's the first time that we implemented our time card system with claim automation, which basically automates the calculation of very complex regulation codes that their payroll system requires. We did such a good job in Sweden that Denmark, a few years after, selected VimBIz mainly for the same reasons of what we had done in Sweden. Also in North America, very large media companies like TVA in Montreal and Globo in Brazil selected VimBIz for equipment logistics, while NBC Universal became our largest customer doing discrepancy reporting in VimBIz and tying that with their engineering operation for repair and maintenance of equipment. The next 5 years were very interesting for us on European soil, where RTBF, similar to Globo and TVA, also selected VimBIz through a public tender for equipment logistics. And right before COVID, SRG in Switzerland and NRK in Norway also selected VimBIz for their scheduling and time card solutions. More recently, especially since the acquisition of Schedule by Zytec, VimBIz is often selected as a replacement tool. We did that at TFO in Ontario, La Sette in Italy, and at NAB this year, I'm very happy to announce that a very large media company in Canada just selected VimBIz to replace Schedule as well. We're spoiled today. We have access to information in the moment. Everybody talks to AI, right? Or we all have a device at our home that we can speak to. We want access to information now. In a nutshell, that's what VimBIz is. For the media industry, for our customer, VimBIz is a central repository of information. All departments can work together as one team. Everybody collaborates. Everybody becomes that much more efficient. They have access to the information right away. Let's talk about the production departments, right? We help our customers produce better content in a way because we make their operation more efficient. To produce content, we must plan, we must schedule, and we want to track actuals. VimBIz provides the necessary tool to do this. Producing content is very complex. It requires very unique competences in terms of human resources. It requires, things like TV studios, edit suites, mobile trucks. When we plan for human resources, yeah, we need maybe a camera operator, but what if we also need a camera operator that has very special skill, like flying a drone or something, right? So the ability to plan the right resource is key to produce content. And let's not forget equipment to capture those beautiful images, right? The business requirements tool in VimBIz allows planners to plan all the resources they believe they will need for to produce that content, budget, how much is it going to cost us, collaborate between the team of experts that maybe someone knows equipment, the others know everything else that's required, and of course request these resources. If the requirements is well defined, scheduling becomes that much easier, right? We provide tools that will basically display all the requirements coming from all different departments and the resources that are qualified to fulfill these requirements. We also provide shift planning tools for other departments that schedule a bit differently, and perhaps all they want is plan from Monday to Sunday, making sure they have the right staff covering the right shifts. Of course, we provide that as well. We think the future of scheduling is automation. Think about it. If the requirements are well defined, right? I talked about a camera operator, maybe that needs to fly a drone or can work in high altitude or something. I have my resources that have a very well-defined profile. Who's qualified to do what? I have working conditions that I must respect, right? So many times off a month, maximum of 10 consecutive days that I can work. I need to respect 11 hours between two shifts. We've created some encroachment rules this weekend, didn't we, team? We didn't respect that rule too much, right? ScheduleBot respects all these conditions. It takes into account all these configurations to automate the allocation of these resources. And of course, actuals. How much did a production cost us? What are the hours that truly were worked by my workforce so that I can calculate the codes that the payroll system requires to pay them accordingly? We do that very well too. I talked about equipment. I need to satisfy the requirements coming from all my productions. So we have a rentals solution that allows equipment manager to see all the requirements that are coming in, all the inventories that are in store. Do I have the capacity to satisfy the requirements? And maybe I don't in one center. In a multi-rental center operation, no problem. I can plan a transfer to take some equipment from one center that have some surplus and send it to the other center that requires a bit more cameras maybe, right? And of course, using barcoding and RFID technology, we know precisely the equipment that leaves the door and comes back, hopefully still in working condition. Engineering supports everything, all that equipment, right? From acquisition, we have a purchasing system that allows our customers to initiate the purchase of new equipment, the reception of that equipment, the barcoding of that equipment, and of course, the repair maintenance. You can create some preventive maintenance, for example, schedule them accordingly to ensure that the equipment uptime is maximized. That equipment is expensive. We want it to work all the time, right? The future of VimBIz. So choosing VimBIz is, in my opinion, siding with industry's best practices. That's what we do. We work with customers and we find solutions together. There's only one VimBIz for all our customers, and it evolves every day ever since 2004. But also, we follow technology trend like cloud platforms, and more recently, we've hired some UI, UX experts, and we work a lot on our technology to make it look much better. The future of VimBIz may look like this. It'll be fully web-based, and we also, like many other companies, and I lost my slides here, my ability to change slides, so let's do it manually. Like many other companies, we implement AI in VimBIz. So for onboarding new customers, that's key, because not only are we also developing video content for new users of VimBIz, we also now have the ability for those users to question the database for things that they may not remember, or one day that AI agent will also be able to question the database and return very important information to support the operation. I know it's a very quick presentation of what we do, a little bit of our history. Look at our schedule. We have more demos planned where we dig a bit deeper into VimBIz. We show the software live. But before that, what I'd like to do is invite my colleague, Laurence Paradis-Bolduc, on stage with me for a fireside chat. Yep. We did that last year, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
It was fun.
It was.
So I thought we have to do it again, especially with all these people in attendance. the reason why I wanted to invite Laurence with me, I talk about helping our customers improve their operation. How can we pretend to do that if we don't work on our own operation at VimSoft? Well, Laurence is our VP of Operations. That's why I want to question her a little bit. See if she's working on improving our own operation. Right, Laurence? Do we do that at VimSoft? And how? What tool do we use to tell me a little bit about how the operations is getting better every day at VimSoft?
Yeah, well, we actually use VimBIz to manage our operations entirely. At the end of the day, whether it's for a technology company or a broadcasting company, managing operations is always the same thing. You plan your projects, you assign the right resources at the right time, making sure that it's the right person by skill set, availability, and then that way you make sure that you're all aligned and working in the same direction. So last year, by just doing that and making sure that we're not being distracted by other projects and other things coming our way, the team knows exactly what they need to be working on. It's aligned with our company strategy, and we've increased our productivity by 39% last year. And because we're improving our productivity, then it opens the door to a lot more, to be able to continue working on VimBiz, to automate a lot of the processes, to continue grow the productivity, a bit of an exponential growth there.
So we're using VimBiz at VimSoft to schedule employees.
Right.
I mean, we work with customers as well. I'm assuming there's some quoting and invoicing done in there. Do we track our internal cost invoicing? Like, how has VimBiz helped you automate some of these processes and make us more efficient? And tell us more about the whole financial aspect of it and how it's helped us save time, money, whatever.
Yeah. So little backstory there. From where I came from before, we were doing everything manually. So doing invoicing every month took 3, 4, 5 days for 2, 3 people every month. It was very manual, that we were looking at hundreds of pages of data to make sure that we were assigning the right things, and there's always manual errors. So when I started here at VimSoft, we were looking at all this, and we were already automating a lot of things. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to do is always make sure that we automate everything that we can automate. The more time we save, the more time we have on other problems, bigger problems that we can solve. So right now, doing invoicing every month takes us less than 4 hours, maybe 3 or 4, and it's only because we're taking a look at it, making sure we do a sanity check. Payroll only takes a couple hours every 2 weeks. Same thing. Everything's automated based on the projects that we work on. We have all the cost tracking, so we can make a lot of better decisions, and we can see where do we spend our internal costs right now. We can adjust. Well, you know what? Maybe that's not the best bang for our buck, so we're going to adjust, and we're going to be focusing on the things that really brings a lot of value to the system.
Sounds like we're not only talking to talk, we're walking the walk at VimSoft. That's awesome. So I spoke about the future of VimBiz. I spoke about AI agents that we're implementing in the solution. What are you looking most forward to, and how it will help, doing even a better job as VP of Operations at VimSoft, but also support our growth? Where are you looking for most?
Well, 2025 is going to be a very interesting year. Exciting even, I would say. So because we've been spending a lot of time on increasing the productivity, we're spending that time on continuing to increase the productivity by enhancing our tools, making sure there's automation, like I mentioned before. So it's one thing to use a system, but you need to make sure that all of the people using the system use it properly, that we are all following the same direction. We're very transparent with our numbers. The team is seeing the value, so they're bought in, they're following the process. It's a lot of change management at first, of course, but that's needed. That's part of the whole rollout. And now, because of everyone's bought in, we actually increased just in Q1. We've increased compared to last year another 51% on top of the 39% last year in productivity. And because of that, we were able to spend some time building our AI chatbot. So again, we want to be able to grow fast. We want your users to grow fast. We want them to be able to learn quickly, become experts quickly. So with the AI chatbot, we get to do that. And everyone gets to learn really quickly. They have 24/7 support, 365 days a year. And that way, we make sure that people who are supporting the users, the super users with our customers, and even us internally, then we can spend our time working on solving bigger problems, operational problems, and not just helping someone figure out why their time card can't be submitted because they're missing an event and whatnot.
So we only have to train that AI guy one time, don't we?
That's right.
That's awesome. Well, that's why I wanted to invite Laurence with me today, because, again, we're improving our operation every day.
Yeah.
So by selecting VimBiz, you're not acquiring only a very powerful software tool, you're also buying people. And that's what we do, and we love doing it with our customers as well. Thank you, Laurence, and keep up the good work. I, as an employee, certainly notice the big difference. So that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, guys.